Maybe you've heard the expression, it's lonely at the top. Leadership is lonely. Well, we believe that that's an old, antiquated model of leadership. We believe that there's a better way. Well, who's we? Welcome to this short masterclass on relational leadership. This class is put on by Powerhouse. And if you are unfamiliar with us, Powerhouse is a house of Indigenous and non-Indigenous leaders for global impact. We activate and amplify the relational work of change makers. We want to know, where are you going? Where is your life leading you? What are you getting ready for? You may not see yourself as a change maker, but we do. We see your diamond self, and we want to help you see it and magnify it. So my name's Christina Benty, and I am a facilitator, speaker, author, and a human systems change agent. In other words, I love working with systems and illuminating the patterns and the stories and the beliefs that keep people, individuals, and organizations out of partnerships. And I work with them to move into better, healthier relationships. So I work with leaders and organizations who want to build a culture of excellence in an environment that's kinder and wiser and more conscious. I'm also an academic, so I love delivering intellectual content with energy and enthusiasm. I am one of the designers and the co-facilitators of the First Steps program, which I want to tell you more about. This program was designed to cultivate relational leaders, whole leaders, not to do more, but to actually be more. The First Steps program is designed to support you in accessing your innate wisdom and the wisdom of the natural world. It's designed to support you to live more intentionally, on purpose and with purpose, to connect with yourself and with others in deep and intimate relationships. Because I'm a person who believes that relationships really are the answer. We wanted to create a relevant transformational experience for leaders to help them build their relationship with themselves, with others, with the earth, and with the world, and build their internal capacity for the complexities that they face in the multitude of their roles. So why relational leadership? Why does it matter? Why even talk about it? Well, we're actually already in relationship with all things. There's empirical evidence that demonstrates that we are interconnected with one another and with the earth. So when we change, everything around us changes because we're actually all connected in ways that we see and ways that we don't see. So relational leadership is all about seeing how everything you do impacts people around you, how you treat them, how you show up, what kind of energy you bring into the room. Everything you do makes a difference, and it's in relationship with everyone else. Relational leadership is also not transactional. Relational leadership is about honoring the investment in others and seeing people as people and seeing people that are trying to meet their needs, just like you're trying to meet your needs. Relational leadership also recognizes that nothing important happens alone, that we all need each other, and that as we build relationships and relational currency, we can have a positive impact on the world around us. Think about the ways that your own parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents, think about how their decisions have impacted your life today in ways that you may or may not be aware of. And future generations are going to be impacted by the decisions that you make. It changes the way you view your decision making. You recognize that when I make a decision, when I act, or when I don't act, that it has an impact on the relationships, on the people around me. It not only currently around me, but also on the future, on future generations. So one of the things that I love about the first steps in relational leadership program is that it's not a static, passive, unrelatable, boring online program. It's interactive. It's got a living curriculum. And we use a number of tools to connect people to each other and to themselves. One of my favorites is the masterclass. So we'll have several masterclasses. And the level of intimacy, the depth of wisdom, and the generative learning that take place during the masterclass, to me, that's mind-blowing. It's a learning experience designed to advance our collective knowing, our collective wisdom, and really to expedite transformation. Because as Richard Rohr says, we do not think ourselves into new ways of living. We live ourselves into new ways of thinking. And First Steps is really about transforming and expanding the way you live, which turns around and transforms the way you think. We get trapped in our heads lots of times, and we have a tendency to overthink. And when we overthink, we forget that we are in relationship with everything and everyone around us. And when we come back to those foundational principles about relationships and leading our lives from that place, then it reminds us to get out of our heads and into our hearts so that we're leading from both our hearts and our heads. First and most important relationship that we explore in the First Steps program is your relationship to yourself. Because the truly free person is only free to the extent of their own self-mastery. And we don't want to leave the future to chance. So exploring that relationship to self is key. So one of the things that we do is look at where you are now? Where are you physically? Where are you emotionally? Where do you find yourself intellectually and spiritually, financially, creatively, mentally? Where are you and where do you find yourself? Your external world is a reflection of your internal world. And oftentimes there's so many clues going on around us that we need to take a look at something and be really honest with ourselves about what's going on. And so that first module that we explore in First Steps is really about finding your feet, knowing where are you in relationship to all these different components in your life. Then the second module is all about taking a look at where do you want to be? Where are you going? What are your dreams and aspirations for your life and for your impact? What's your relationship with your future self? Like, we can either have an accidental relationship with ourselves, or we can have an intentional relationship with ourselves. And as leaders, as change makers, having a healthy relationship with yourself, being aware of who you are and how you show up, being aware of what your gifts are, what your zone of genius is, but also being aware of your shadow side. What can take you out? What do you need to be aware of? All of those are explored in our modules, because, like I said, the most important relationship that you have and the only person that you can control is actually yourself. Interwoven throughout the whole program is exploring our relationship to the earth, to the land, to the water, to the air, and exploring our dependence on the earth and the health of the earth. And so there's a number of different activities and invitations for you to connect to the earth and connect to the land. Because actually connecting to the earth is connecting with ourselves. Because we are made of the same things. And so we are deeply connected and highly dependent on relationship with the earth. And so cultivating a healthy, connected relationship with the earth, with the land, water, and air, that our decisions, that our actions, then are through the lens of a healthy relationship with the earth. And of course, we'll be exploring our relationship with others and our relationship with people around us, and how to build that relational currency, and what are the relationships in our lives that need to be cultivated. We'll be exploring, who do you need to get in front of? Who can help you in your change making work? Who can you help? Who needs your help? You'll be in the First Steps program, you'll be partnered, you'll have a partner, or you'll be in a triad, and you'll be modeling some relational accountability for growth and expansion. Because our relationship with others is so foundational, because nothing important happens alone. And lastly, we are in relationship to the world, and that includes the systems that are in our environment, the systems that we've created, the systems that the past generations have created. And although we talk about systemic change, it's important to recognize that we first have to look at what those systems are and how those systems, despite best intentions, how they become dysfunctional. So in order to develop workable strategies for effective, robust systems, we need healthy relationships to be able to stay in the conversation, stay in partnership, and stay in change-making efforts when it comes to creating sustainable change and systemic change in our world and in the systems that have been created in our world, that we end up being so dependent on. We will be exploring how do we work with those systems to change them so that they serve people rather than themselves, so that we can stay in relationship with ourselves, with the earth, with one another, and in the world in a way that leads to the highest good for all. So let's dispel the myth that leadership is lonely and that you have to do it alone, because you don't. I want nothing more than to see you succeed without sacrificing your sense of self, your values, your loved ones, or your soul. And so that's why we've created this co-created learning experience, because it's designed to advance our collective wisdom and expedite our own transformation. And you don't have to do it by yourself. You're not alone. All of your bits and pieces are welcome, and they are welcome to a co-created journey. And we would love to start this journey with you. So as you can see, the First Steps program it's a 90-day cohort. It is self-directed, and you get to pick and choose how you experience the program. And yet there's all sorts of support for you. It is rich and meaningful. It's designed to connect to all the different aspects of your leadership journey, and to explore your relationship with yourself and with others, with the earth, and with the world. Check out the First Steps program and explore your own relationship with relational leadership.